The tree next to him turned dark and evil, and then realizing that the tree was covered with an illusion, she cast away the apple she plucked earlier from the now dark and evil tree. Syndra brings her attention back to her friend that has an aura that could only mean that he has awoken. His eyes opened, looking fierce with power and bloodlust. Almost as if he was under some spell, he took up the sword and dashed towards the confused Syndra. Countering with a block with her dagger, it shatters with the power of the blow, knocking her into a wall. Then all of a sudden, hordes of goblins attack Theseus, but the sneak attack was all but a failure as all the goblins turned into liquid by a flash of light that she soon understood the insane speed of his sword dicing them. After this, he fell to the ground with his aura fading. She noticed that his arms were covered with blood and soaking the ground where he lay. Quickly going to his side using a healing spell that was combined with her herbs. Stopping the bleeding, she took a cloth and picked up the sword, tossing it aside. Both in critical condition, they get some rest to recover. Demi-humans have unique abilities that help them recover 20 times faster than the average human. 3 days later, Theseus woke up with confusion as to what he saw horrified him. He saw corpses of goblins and a sleeping Syndra with blood covering her clothes. He swiftly got to his feet and checked her pulse. "She is alive," he thought to himself, still a bit worried about what happened. Syndra waking up, she sees Theseus looking at her and gets up quickly out of confusion and embarrassment, and they bonk each other's heads, both looking as if one or the other were supposed to take the blame. That hurt. Syndra, both happy and mad with a very confused look, said, "What happened? Why were you going berserk on everything?" The even more confused Theseus asks what happened, and she explains that when he picked up the sword, he started trying to kill everything. I stood up and started towards the next passageway, lighting a torch that I found in the hallway. There was a door that was made out of a dark metal-looking material that had a black mist surrounding it. We took a closer look, and the door vanished, revealing a room with a table. We assumed that the door was powerful illusion magic. On the table was a pot full of light blue smoke. The substance that was pouring out of it was a dark-looking slime. Suddenly it burst into flames. We dodged a wave of heat from the flame that just came from the pot. We decided that it was probably not the best idea to go towards things that we are unfamiliar with, such as the pot that was in front of us. A book lay on the ground next to the entrance that had been burned, but only the cover was ruined. We took a look in the book. It was increasingly confusing as we looked through strange languages that we presumed to be the writing of a demonic being of a high status. Royal demons are of a higher class than your ordinary winged beasts. They have ranks that differentiate the types of demons. They have 5 classes: the Axion, Scythic, Extresa, Zedith, and Denstric. And as we examined the writing, we concluded that it must have been a Zedith who wrote this tome of knowledge. I put the tome into my shash, thinking I might need it for later. As we traveled through a great structure that must have been there for hundreds of years, there stood a great golden door in our path. A map that was in the tome of knowledge seems to lead to this door with what seemed to be a writing about a prophecy of a hero or a being of great power, either resided there or that the person who found this place and took something that looked like a potion. With quite a lot of emphasis on the potion, we tried opening the doors. They didn't budge, so we decided not to mess with it till we know what is behind the doors. Looking at the surroundings, the walls were cracked and moss started to cover the wall, giving off an old musky smell. Taking a closer look, we found some medicinal herbs growing near the cracks. The medicinal herb was a blue-looking flower that was known for its magical healing abilities. What was weird was that it hasn't existed in hundreds of years. The herb is said to have been hoarded by evil nobles who took advantage of it to control the peasants and civilians alike. Thus, they went extinct due to that factor. This was a rare opportunity to acquire such a valuable item. Plucking the flower carefully, we stored it in our satchel. We could sell this and be rich, or I could use it to save us some time, Theseus thought. Quite puzzled and excited about getting the healing herb, we took our time looking around to see if there were any more treasures hidden within this monstrously huge dungeon.